and make sure that that thing is in line with the hose. If it goes like if it's across that way, that means it's closed. So you want to make sure it's open. All right. So make sure that that little dial is in line with the hose. That feeds water in here, and then it splits out in two directions. Cold water goes in that way, and cold water actually also goes up this tube here. So there's a splitter back there, and cold water goes in, so you have cooler water, and then you have cold water feeding this tank here. This red tube here that has the temperature dial on it, the temperature and pressure dial, that is where hot water comes out of here into the shower. Now, the thing to remember is that and no matter how much hot water you have in here, it's not going to come out unless the hydrant is on. So if you forget to turn the hydrant on and you start a fire, you're just boiling the water inside this tank, and it's not going to go anywhere. You're trying to take a shower and you're like, why is it cold? I've been burning it for the past 25 minutes. So don't forget to do that. So that's essentially the water system. Any questions right now about that stuff? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Will you remove tape and things?
Say it again?
Tape?
If it's a big piece of tape, yeah, you want to take that off and we would put it in landfill. The smaller stuff, that tends to burn up almost completely inside there because it does become really, really, really hot inside of, in this case, the burning happens up, mostly at the top of the barrel there.
Do you need to turn this on even before you start the fire?
Yes.
Okay.
And while we're tearing cardboard, would you care to describe the pressure valve system up on top of that? Is that anything?
Yeah. That's important to know about, I guess. Those are two big safety features. That's going to stop this from exploding if it's too much pressure inside the barrel. Okay.
Explosions are bad, right?
Explosions, in this case, yeah.
I can do it.
There you go. All right.
I would love to do it. I should refrain.
Come on over.
Okay.
Okay. So there's your torch. First thing you want to do is turn that switch to on. All right. And then open that a little bit. Point it away from people.
And away from cameras.
And dwarves, probably.
Well, there's a
You're good,
camera
you're
right
good.
here and a person right there. Okay.
You're splitting the difference. That's good.
Okay.
Open a little bit and then pull the trigger or push the button. Yeah. That means it's firing up. Go ahead and start that stuff burning. That's pretty good. And we're going to continue to feed that with a little bit more cardboard.
Should I keep it on?
No. Go ahead and switch it off and turn that dial back to minus.
Minus. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah,
Where does this go?
That belongs down in the shop. I think there's a torch in here, in which
Okay.
case we'll use this one, but I knew that one was going to work for actual pieces of wood, and we're going to get less and less smoke coming out of the chimney. That means it's a nice, hot, very efficient burn. So almost everything that's going in there is going to be cooked up, and you're not going to have, like that. And that's why like little bits of tape, like small pieces of tape, are okay, because they'll be burned so completely because it does get so hot in there. All right, that's the basics of getting a fire started. Does anybody have any questions about that process? All right, so I talked about getting the water turned on and making sure things are connected the way they need to be, and then we have a fire started here, and it's doing okay. It's getting pretty hot. We can start hearing the crackling, which again is a good sign.
Your temperature gauge is going up?
Yeah, we're going to be taking a look at that next. I just want to make sure that if there are any questions about this stuff, that we get them answered. Okay, and now you can start hearing why they call it a rocket heater. You can hear that burning sound. That's the sound of things burning. All right, so we have water cooking in there. It's probably still warm from yesterday, but our temperature gauge really hasn't raised much at all. In order for us to have this temperature gauge raise, you need to have water running through that pipe. So everybody come on over this way. And this is a way to test how hot the water is. We have an outdoor sink over here. And all you need to do is turn on the hot water. And then you'll feel it gradually get warmer if everything is working right. There we go. It's definitely warming up. So this leads me to believe that after Brian and I had the fire yesterday, it kept a lot of the hot water in that tank. And so now cold water from the well is pushing the hot water. Cold water is going in the bottom of the tank, and hot water is being pushed out of the top of the tank. Right? And that's where this hot water is coming from. And right now, this is as hot as you'll need for a shower. Okay? There are a couple other safety features in there. There's like if the water gets too hot, then it will there's like a gauge in there that will automatically add cold water into the hot water line to help maintain the temperature. Okay, so on some of the tents we set up for the hottest part of the summer, we'll put that on the end of a hose, and we'll hang the hose on the inside of a pavilion tent, and it's like a cooling tent. You know, you can.
All right, what you just saw was me making this dough initially, and what you're seeing now is after the first rise. As you can see, it's pretty bigger than it was. And so I'm going to show you the process here. I'm going to try and using a scraper help get some of this dough off the cloth I'm using to cover it. Alright, so now I'm going to wet my fingers. It'll help it not stick to my hands as much. And we're going to fold this over, and then I am going to put it in the fridge to set overnight. It'll combine more, sit, mellow out, and since it's poly dough, it can be used for anything, and you can like keep it in there for a couple of days. Take off a hunk, use some for some bread, for cinnamon rolls, bread bowls, hamburger buns, hot dog buns, whatever you want to do. It's a multi-purpose bread. It's got oil in there, so it's nice and soft, and you can use it for pretty much anything. Just put the oven at 350 and add some stuff, and then you got yourself a nice bread. So here's getting that started. Gonna go one side over. One side over, one side over, and one over. And then I like to go with the bowl scraper around the edge, try and get some of this extra stuff. I'm gonna actually add some more water.